2022 has been a brilliant year for cinema, and I have struggled to whittle down just 10 films for this list. Everyone's experience is different, so if there is a film that is not on this list that you loved, I likely didn't connect with it in the same way, or it's further down my list, or I simply didn't manage to watch it. But before I get further into it, please consider subscribing and switching on notifications, as it really helps us out. Number 10. All Quiet on the Western Front. In a genre overwhelmed by American and British points of view, there's certainly space for Edward Berger's German adaptation of beloved German anti-war novel All Quiet on the Western Front that depicts the horrors of World War I through the eyes of one young soldier, with a particularly moving opening sequence and superbly atmospheric soundtrack. Number 9. The Batman. It's hard to reinvent a well-known character, especially one so ingrained in pop culture, and especially when casting an actor who himself is so ingrained in pop culture. However, Reeves and Pattinson exceed expectations with their moody, noir-inspired film that acknowledges the trauma of Batman's past and how it informs his lonely present. Number 8. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Released around the same time as Marvel's Doctor Strange sequel, Everything Everywhere stole the show with its unique take on the multiverse, rooting the non-naturalism in a humble premise involving teenage angst, taxes, and questions around identity. It laughs in the face of subtlety as it showers the screen with as close to everything as possible, and is certainly an unforgettable cinematic experience. Number 7. The Northmen. Like the previous entry on the list, The Northmen tackles a subject matter that has been done before, and some might say excessively, in recent years: Viking culture. Except Robert Eggers takes an authentic approach that elevates this film above the competition. He pays close attention to historical detail, emphasizing the muddy truth over the glamorized depiction that we've become used to, while still delivering a compelling tale of revenge. Number 6. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This is the first curveball on my list, a satirical Gen Z slasher that surprised me through how cleverly it presents its Lord of the Flies style situation. I loved how the event that triggers the social degradation between these teenagers is the power going out, denying them access to the apps that they use to understand each other and the society that surrounds them. The mayhem that ensues reveals much more about this generation than anticipated. Number 5. The Banshees of Sharon. Period dramas are often about significant historical events, famous figures, and cultures past, but Banshees of Sharon takes a different approach, exploring the simple friendship between two ordinary people on a small and seemingly insignificant island. It thoughtfully tackles the age-old themes of loneliness and finding purpose in life, with some unexpected twists. Number 4. Bones and All. Holy moly, this film is gruesome and certainly an uncomfortable viewing experience, as is the case with many other body horrors, including Crimes of the Future, which we got this year from the king of venereal horror, David Cronenberg. However, what made me pick Bones and All for my list, despite both of these films having equally stimulating explorations of the human body, is the love story that is captured by Luca Guadagnino and his actors. The quite literal, all-consuming love between Marin and Lee has stuck with me, and surprisingly not in a nightmare-inducing way, but in an exceedingly difficult-to-explain way that moves me to put it on this list. Take from that what you can. Number 3. The Menu. The way this film puts contemporary culture under the microscope via a most ridiculous premise is worthy of a chef's kiss. I was so impressed by the multiple layers of satire on show that I made a video about it, which you can access using the link above or in the description below. It's funny in an awful way, a description that only makes sense once you've seen the film and relates to how our allegiances with the various characters frequently change based on new information that is revealed. Plus, the production design, cinematography, sound design, and every other technical detail truly came together to convey the gravitas of those dishes, such as I have not seen since the masterpiece that is Ratatouille. Number 2. Good luck to you, Leo Grande. This is the second curveball of my list, a film that I sincerely think that everybody needs to see, from teenagers up to the elderly, because of how it breaks down two taboo subjects, old age and sex, by simply having the discussions that people are too afraid to have. It's provocative, not in a loud punk rock kind of way, but because of its candor and how it treats its subjects with respect rather than falling into stereotype, neither over-sexualizing Leo or tastefully hiding Nancy away. It's a very heartfelt depiction of how freeing it can be to simply allow your body to exist as it is, because, as Emma Thompson beautifully puts it,
this is your vessel, it's your house, it's where you live. There's no point in judging it.
Honorable mentions: Avatar: The Way of Water and Elvis. One of the reasons I personally adore cinema is the potential spectacle of it, the ability of this art form above others to bring together so many creative minds and make a heightened version of the world. This is something both of these films do with stunning results that I think deserve mentioning despite their shortfalls. Elvis, like many other Baz Luhrmann films, enhances its characters in a bombastic and theatrical way, which I think perfectly suited the unattainable star that was Elvis Presley. In Avatar's case, as with many large-scale science fiction films, a whole new world is imagined, and experiencing it inspires a childlike awe that I thoroughly enjoy and admire. Number 1. Top Gun: Maverick. I expected this film to be just another forgettable action film, but I was so wrong. Top Gun: Maverick shot up to my number 1 spot quickly after I watched it, and I was so disbelieving of my experience that I went to see it months later in order to confirm my choice. I've gone through plenty of thought-provoking, complex and deep films in this list, but what connects my top 2 films is their simplicity and how they let their very well-written dialogue lead the story. Top Gun: Maverick is a perfect sequel. It builds on previously established characters and relationships whilst acknowledging that time has passed. Maverick is still rebellious and cheeky, but he's also a father figure and role model for a new generation of pilots. Tom Cruise and his team of creatives cared about this film, and it absolutely shows through how they cleverly used modern technology to mask the wires of their work without disrupting the thrill of the action and authenticity of the story. So there we have it, my top 10 films of 2022. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel and switching on notifications, as it really helps us out. Don't forget to comment below with your favorite film of the year. For more film content, feel free to follow us on Twitter, Letterboxd and TikTok. Links in the description. Otherwise, this has been Tea Break Film Reviews. My name's Michelle and I hope you have a happy new year.